Welcome to the 13th house. Come on in, take your shoes off, make yourselves at home, get a little weird with me for a while. If you're new here, welcome to the weirdness. It is going to be exactly that. If you're returning, thank you so much for finding something here worth returning to. As always, your perception is your responsibility, okay? Please use your discernment. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Don't make it fit if it doesn't. And for my protection and yours, anything I say, do, what have you on this channel or the content therein is for entertainment purposes only. Without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? My candle's already talking today. Alright, so you may be having a situation coming up in your life that is going to be triggering multiple multiple opportunities, multiple avenues to open up. Okay, so now is going to be a very good time to use your discernment, put to practice what you've been learning up to this point. Okay, as far as making critical decisions and following your intuition, like you're being guided to really use your intuition at this time, more so than leaning on logic. Okay. We have loyalty and falsehood. Let's get one more. Alright, so it's already telling me something about like loyalties to those who continue to prove themselves as false or have ulterior motives. Okay, because it can be confusing when you're dealing with manipulative people. So if you have someone specifically on your mind when I go to say that, then your intuition's telling you something. Alright, so we have inner and outer work. Alright, and this could also be reflecting how what you do outside of yourself reflects your internal being, your internal self. Alright, and this could also be relevant to those who are around you at this time, like paying attention to people's words, actions, what have you, match how they present themselves, okay, out into the world. It's a time that's going to help cleanse and purify your field at this time, okay? What's genuine, what's not, being able to identify, where there's falsehood, making its way into your daily life, and where loyalties are best invested. Okay, we have let it die. Some things are not meant to be healed, some are meant to be released like smoke. If you keep trying to fix what wants to end, you'll miss the life that waits for you beyond it. And then with the 8th house, death, rebirth, transformation, transcendence, willingness or need to let go, to yield, to put oneself in another's hands. Sex and death require such an attitude and capacity and hold potential for rebirth, etc. Being limited by others' ideas or values, talents, and resources of others, and your partner's money or resources. Okay, so this is also alluding to like those around you, where their falsehoods are at, and this could be even in like very personal relationships, a significant other, those who you're letting closest to you, having access to your body and what have you, because if you're trying to like prove your loyalty to someone who has proven to show up as false on a regular basis. This candle is talking its ass off today. Yeah, there's a there's a deep need to release something here, because it's causing a lot of disruption, a lot of scattered mental energy, and like deep down you know where this is coming from. So for some of you, this is going to serve as just like a confirmation on what you've been picking up on in your gut about someone that, you know, you've tried every which way you can. Alright, and this person just continues to show up in a false way, making promises repeatedly just to get you to shut up. I'm getting, and they never follow through. Alright, but you're always expected to follow through, and you do, because that's who you are, and you're not like a petty person. So, you've done this inner work, and it reflects outwardly. Regardless of what they choose to do. Alright, like you don't stoop low enough to repeat like their behaviors. Like if you make a promise, and just because they're not keeping theirs, like say it's something as simple as taking the trash out on time or something, and they continue to just not follow through. Like you don't just leave the trash to sit there just because they didn't do it. Like you go ahead and you take it out because it's important for you to keep your environment clean. And you know, those actions, as little as they may seem, they speak volumes about that person and how they ripple out. Those actions ripple out and cause further resentment to build, and it can really destabilize like your own emotional center. All right, that's what you could be better using for other things, like to get yourself further along where you want to be. Energy that you could be putting into a new hobby or just taking care of yourself and what have you. Okay. Then we have the moon, female energy, the unconscious mind, sensitivity, dreams, emotions. And then we have Virgo, being rational, pursuing order, disliking randomness, and analyzing. Alright, you might be a Virgo. Someone you're dealing with might be a Virgo. Okay, or it could be just that energy. And, you know, the whole pursuing order and things like that. And, you know, this here with the moon, and then, because this is emotions and the unconscious mind, and with Virgo, it's like being rational, being analytical, right? And so, you might be balancing that out within yourself, but you're also noticing, like, you operate on, more on feeling, okay? And it's not that you don't, like, use your logic or anything, but it's like, that logical side isn't what, you know, totally leads every decision you make. And it might be that this person, that's all they ever bring up, and it's kind of like a know-it-all energy that I'm picking up on. Like you go to try to tell them how you feel about something, and they want to keep, you know, over analyzing a situation, being, you know, really like trying to be over logical about it, trying to explain it away rather than, you know, feeling into it. And this here with the 8th house, the partner's money or resources, you might be in a financially dependent type of situation, which can get really tricky in a situation like this where things aren't working out. Like, you know, you could have had a transformation to where what you were once okay with and comfortable with is no longer what you're okay or comfortable with, and you're starting to notice that the commitment you made was like based on a false notion of what you thought that commitment was going to be for you, and the role you would have in it. Okay, and so this is speaking on, like, you know, it might be really hard to imagine being able to set out on your own and do things. Like you're already aware that you need to let this die, okay? Because you are getting, like, increasingly anxious about, you know, the life that you want to live, that you have wanted to experience, okay? And this person is just, you feel like they're weighing you down, and it's not just, like, on a physical level, but it's all across the board, because this stuff, as long as it, you know, continues to go unresolved, it starts to fester inside of you. And, you know, like I was saying, like, resentment builds, and it's just not a good situation to be in. And so, you might be looking for work, alright? You might be worried about, if you're a female, being a single mother, or if you're male, like, and you're the primary caregiver of a child or something. about being the sole provider, sole nurturer, what have you, of your kids, being a single parent kind of thing. I'm wondering how you're going to balance that out, okay? Because it is hard to find, work that's going to pay enough just out of a starting position. And like a lot of single parents or people that have been a stay-at-home parent, they made a commitment to that, and that's that loyalty there. Like they showed up genuinely, and a partner, or for whatever reason, that fell through, and that's this falsehood here. Like it was like being sold a dream that just was like a pipe dream. Okay, and with Navigator of Destiny here, voyage, leadership, decision making, and objective. Okay, with this inner and outer work. So you've been doing a lot of this inner work, all right, and you let it reflect outwardly. So now, you're wondering how to find a job or whatever that's going to help you take care of your family, but also isn't going to keep you from doing your part as a parent, because or even taking care of yourself the way that you need to be taken care of. Like, I can't do these things to better myself if I'm stuck in a job all the time, and da-da-da-da-da. And so the right opportunity seems to be like what you're looking for. It might be what you're waiting for here. All right. And this here with clergy, guardians of faith, religion, morality, compassion, sacred mission, animal spirit, spiritual leader, nature. All right. This being controlled by another's values with the 8th house of transformation. All right. It could be that, it might be religion or something that's putting a rift between, because like, say you're in a marriage or something, and like you've had this transformation, and this person's all the time like throwing stuff about, what this religion or that religion says about marriage and fulfilling duties and whathood, and you're starting to understand that, like, the loyalty to this false notion, like, it's one thing to talk about it and speak about it, sounds all good and well in theory, but when you're actually living it, it's like, oh shit, this is not this isn't right. And so you may also, I'm getting, having read deeper into whoever's beliefs and everything, and you're starting to see a broader picture, and you're seeing where this person's cherry picking to kind of alleviate themselves of certain responsibilities or duties to you and this shared endeavor of life that you both agreed to do. And then we have writer, weaver of tales, storytelling, crafting, communication, polishing. All right, so it's maybe telling you to like let your situation be known. All right. You'd be surprised the kind of help and resources that can show up when you break the silence. And of course, like, you don't want to be going around like with your hand out to everybody. I know I've been there, and that's exhausting in and of itself on so many levels. But at the same time, if you can, contact the right people, put your story out there. We have influencer, trendsetter, content creator, follower, online influence. All right. You might have those who are willing to invest in you because they understand your situation, and talking to the right people can open avenues for possibilities that aren't a one-size-fits-all. Like, in instances of domestic violence, like, a lot of women deal with going to seek help, and these programs have just a one-size-fits-all approach to it, and it's like, well, that's not going to work for me personally, because I'm not the rest of these people. Like, whoever you are, you're needing a very individualized approach that is going to look at the details and the specifics of what you want out of life, not just how to continue to operate in a defunct system. Because this transformation that you're going through, you don't want to lead yourself or your family further into this imbalanced system, okay? And then we have doctor, gambler, and spy. All right. So, you know, you might have already been thinking this, but maybe writing about, maybe you've been journaling or keeping a diary about, what you've experienced, what you've been going through. And this may be something that you might want to try putting out there, as scary as it might sound, because you'd be surprised how many others find themselves in the same situation, and they too are afraid to speak out. They're afraid to be that vulnerable. All right, but the doctor here, like healer of ailments, treatment, surgery, diagnosis, compassion. You might find that there's people out there that are willing to take a risk on you. Okay. They see your situation, because that's the biggest thing with a lot of these organizations. They make it so difficult to get any help, because people all the time want to use the cop out that well, there are people that take advantage of it. Okay, well, that may be, but for those who really aren't taking advantage, you're punishing them for the bullshit that other people do. Okay, and a lot of times in situations, like if you put yourself in a situation to where you're going to be charitable to others, it is not your place to sit and decide who's worthy of that help. It's in trusting that, the forces out there, whatever it is you believe in, a God, a force, the universe, whatever, that it can see beyond where you can, and that you act on integrity. And that integrity is, if you're truly wanting to help others, you act on that first. And trust that if anybody's trying to scam you over, fuck you over, take advantage, that will be handled accordingly. And whatever you lose in that process will be given back to you. All right. And the spy here, seeker of secrets, intelligence agent, covert, espionage, undercover. All right. So you could, you putting this experience out there is like for others, whether you're male or female, what have you, who may be getting led into these same situations. You being someone who's been on the inside and have seen the nitty gritty parts of it, it can let them know ahead of time. You can heal things before they even fester. You get what I'm saying? Like, because, a lot of people get pulled into making decisions based on what their parents had believed in, what their family or whatever had raised them to believe is normal. And when after they've already gotten into the agreement, what have you, then they learn, oh shit, this isn't it. And, you sharing that raw truth could really be beneficial, and it could help you have a way of like supporting yourself and your family. All right, we have mature man. Adjudication. Okay. All right, and it could be also, you may have an unexpected ally that has been, it could be something spiritual, it could be like a literal person, maybe a friend, or maybe you may not even know this person. The bottom of the deck is a message of concern. They could be helping you in the background, or about to be. Because they might be seeing, like, this mature man might be seeing, like, making a judgment call on this, what's happening in this family unit, and this false person that's been, kind of holding you back. Interesting. And it's almost like what I'm getting from this is, like, this mature man energy, because, like, it came out over here and with this clergy and writer. Okay, so okay, it's strange. I know it's gonna sound a bit odd, but just bear with me. It's like, in one of my other readings, I was talking about a watcher type of presence. Okay, and how these watchers, have been dwelling within certain individuals within the collective, acting as, these, not necessarily like a spy, but a spy also at the same time, to witness from individual perspectives what the current constructs, like what is the fruit of that, what comes of that, right? And seeing where your loyalties lie, because like there's something about the nature of your heart that's coming up, the way that you naturally operate on your interactions and how you make decisions and whatnot. You have a truly good heart, and you naturally have been putting in this work. Like it's just genuine. You're not actively making it a point to like force yourself into making these changes or what have you. It's just something that organically happens because the type of person you are. And this energy here is like, you know what, this is the teachings and things that have been, running through. We have witnessed with this person, the injustices, and there's a need for this to be looked over, and it's like broader even than just like actually going before a judge, but this is on a also spiritual level, like the dynamics of family and the interactions and this false presence, this false, gross. Okay, I'm getting something about somebody also might be finding out that their significant other is like on the DL, okay? So like they're actually interested in the same sex and they're just keeping you there to keep up appearances or because it's convenient. They get to go out, work, bring home the bacon, and do what they please, and you're the one that's just maintaining the foundation of everything. That is so fucked up. And they bring home money. That's what they do. And bullshit. And stress. Disrupting your nervous system. All this. This is fucked up. Lately, my readings have been, very deep dives and everything, and this is starting to touch on, because I was getting concerned. I was like, what's happening? Like, this is always going so deep. But now we're starting to touch in on some of the ways that this ripples outward. So I'm starting to understand why some of my readings have been in such deep dives. It's important to understand the foundation of something like this. Now I'm glad for it. Thank you. Alright. Can you tell us about this? Okay, a rebirth is assured. We have the bat spirit, okay? The number 5 could be significant. We have 55 here, like a significant change, an event that will occur that's going to bring this in. We have the number 38 with the lizard spirit, dream the world into being. That's also 11 or 2. Yeah. See, if you're a feminine, part of the feminine essence is to be able to co-create. Exactly, time to collaborate. Is to be like that force that brings through ideas, dreams, what have you, to life. Okay? And whatever you've been holding, alright, this situation is getting in the way of that. And then on the bottom of the deck we have brown bear spirit, take time out. That's number 9. Alright, so whew. So what I'm getting also is you may be lately, okay, you may have been noticing for the past couple of weeks that maybe like you're still handling your responsibilities at home and this and that, taking care of what you need to take care of, but it's almost like your give a damn's busted kind of thing. Alright, you're just not caring about in the same way that you used to, stressing out and getting anxious or whatever of how this false person is behaving, their tantrums or whatever, because it's like you're just so fucking used to it at this point, and not only that, you're over it. Alright, so you could have been taking time out just away from the shit, because it's like, I cannot do it anymore. I literally cannot do it anymore. Tell me more about this, please. Like, you feel that, you know, you're feeling something inside you that's like, you know, it's time. You've got, I'm picking up on, like, restless energy. Like, you can't shake it. It's this persistent feeling of, you know, I've got a higher purpose than this. There's got to be more to life than this, and there is. You've carried these dreams throughout your life for a reason, okay? No matter how far-fetched they may seem, that is totally beside the fucking point. You hold these dreams because you have the capability and capacity to bring them through. But if someone's getting between you and your purpose, how are you going to be able to collaborate? You know what I'm saying? With the right energy, the right forces, the right people, the right situations. You get what I'm saying? Alright, so we have the cleanse, detox, ridding negativity, purification. And then we have my boo, new love, learning each other, flirtations. Then we have graduation day, leveling up, lessons learned, acquired wisdom, okay? It's like learning a lot about love, what love truly is, what it isn't, and, you know, kind of surrendering to the fact that, you know what unconditional love and genuine love is, because you hold it. You carry that. You know it exists, but what you're struggling with is finding it outside of yourself. And so, this whole thing of, like, purging and cleansing, this whole thing of, like, if one situation doesn't work out, that you have to find new love, and instead your mindset has been shifted into beyond just finding love, because you're noticing how that can, like, put you in against a brick wall, right? Because, like, these individuals that, you know, keep entering your field, they just don't have the capacity, like, they don't have the emotional substance that, you know, that you can reach for. It's just not fucking there. They just don't have it, you know? You're in it for the long haul, okay? Like, you know what you want. You've invested in yourself, and you gave so much to this commitment and everything. You took it seriously. This person just shit the bed with numbing. You know, they have, like, the irrational behavior, addiction, self-medicating, and that's just, like, I was talking about, like, it might be somebody on the DL, like, giving in to, you know, sexual desires and whatnot, continuing to put on a false persona, while you're at home, you know, and it's, exactly, playing the field, not looking to settle, seeking options. And this isn't going to work when you're the one, you know, that's looking for love. A person like this just doesn't, they won't get it. They might be calling you dramatic. They might be telling you, like, it's not that serious, like, you're crazy, it's not that bad, you know, and then they might start that whole thing, getting like, oh, so I'm just the worst person, I'm the bad guy, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yes, the fuck you are. Yes, exactly that. And this is exactly why. Okay, tell me a bit about this mature man, like, in the adjudication, okay? How is this going to work out for the one that this is meant for, this reading's meant for? How is the help going to arrive in the way that they need it? What do they need to know in regard to that? Because we know how these motherfuckers act. We know the mindset. We definitely know how we feel. Okay, we've gotten those confirmations on that. Let's see what is coming in, though. Like, how is this going to start shifting? The heart of the matter. what the heart holds, secrets of the heart, the nature of the heart, ancient and esoteric wisdom about the heart of truth. Okay. Ah. Okay, so this is talking about, it's something very deep, and I've been talking about this in my other readings. You know, it's not, I'm not trying, like, it's not dehumanizing anyone, because we're all people, we all feel, we all have our own perception, our own way of doing life or whatever, but not all hearts are the same. Alright, and if you ever feel like, you know, you're not like others, you're something else. Okay, you're not far off, and this is interesting because as I was meditating on the cards, I have sigils that I use. I make them. They speak to the collective subconscious, collective unconscious. Okay, because your subconscious mind can pick up on this frequency and what's encoded in it. But with this, it's hybrid, and they thought they'd wiped you all out. Your imperfection will save worlds. Anomaly, unpredictable, undefined. Alright? And so it's like getting to the heart of the matter is, yes, as a matter of fact, you are different. And being able to embrace that and own that and recognize it, okay, is a key element to whatever this is. I'm being told that, you know, you allowing yourself to accept it and, you know, do it without, we have the motorcycle. This is interesting. Okay, so in way of vehicles, how I was talking about, like, you know, the body being a vehicle for consciousness and whatever. In this hybrid thing, so a lot of the collective is dual-minded, okay? And they're still trying to integrate themselves into a whole, right? To make a whole being out of the components within. You are that whole self-actualization thing. Alright, so the witness that has been within you, that watcher presence, alright, has witnessed what it needs to. And in one of my last videos, I talked about how it sounds strange and it sounds, you know, superfluous, whatever. But that presence stepping out of yourself, okay, and stepping into the physical world, okay? And so you have this vehicle that seats one. You know what I mean? No one else can take your seat within you to control or influence what you choose to do, kind of thing. It also goes with the whole independence factor here. What else, please? How is this going to impact this person's forward movement and how they're going to be able to continue? Alright, so we did have the nature shaman come out, and here is a spirit guide, domestic animal, familiar, spirit animal message. Alright. Laugh it off, humor, laughter, it's not that serious, prank, funny. It is to laugh. Okay, so for the moment, I'm being told this is something to do with, like, the animalistic side of our existence. Like, we're consciousness inhabiting, like, a mammalian vessel. Like, coming out of the shell, rebirth, new life, evolution, exceptional origin. Alright, and with this hybrid thing, like, tell me more about this, please. I just got really hot all of a sudden. Being told you might be experiencing physical changes because whatever this is that's been happening has been serving as like a way for like this evolutionary something within you to be activated. And like, it's deeper than just like a spiritual thing. Like, this is actually impacting the body, like the animal, our vessel, our body. All right. And you might be starting to literally evolve, like physically evolve. You could be noticing like your facial features have changed, or like certain things about your body have changed. This is interesting. Okay, so we have photos, photo evidence, image, memories, looking back, bring your camera, bolo. Be on the lookout for a camera or caught on camera. I'm taking this as like the image, the self-image, okay? And then we have deep diver, a depth diver, prepared to navigate deep matters. Okay, so one who can navigate the deep depths of the spirit, but also continue to navigate in the flesh. That's not a common thing. It really isn't. And for those of us who operate like this naturally, we make the mistake of assuming that everybody has that capacity, everybody has that ability, and they don't. And it is a hard lesson to learn. But it is, and now you can see why, like, it is important to learn that lesson, to get to the heart of the matter, right? Herbal tea, self-care, being honest to and about self with self, and taking time to yourself. We had take time out on the bottom of the deck on the Spirit Animal Oracle. And also, it's talking about like the whole self-care, being honest with yourself, like at that acceptance of what you are. You don't have to be just one thing. And with this hybrid existence, right? There's a lot of pressure from, spiritual communities, religious communities, societal constructs and what have you, to have to choose to be this or that, good or bad, light or dark. And it's like this dogmatic fucking plague that just hits everything. And it's like, but I'm more than just this or that. Like, all right, so trying to catch something, hunting, seeking. All right, so it could be a hinting at, this watch your presence or what have you, is like trying to hint at something, trying to let you know something. Or maybe somebody's trying to catch you up in something as you're taking time out. Taking time to care for yourself. They might be trying to call you negligent or something, like calling you lazy, or saying that, you haven't been keeping up your end of the bargain, what have you. All right. And then we have out, like, yeah, they try to say, like, taking time out, like, you're checking out or whatever, okay? Departure, release, leaving, taking time out, checking out, abandonment, absent. They could be, maybe you might be catching them doing something soon that's going to give you a way out that is going to leave you with more options than what you thought would be available to you, okay? Alright, that's too many at once. Man, that's like 5. Need some more insight into this. You want me to switch decks, maybe? Okay. And we have in. Out and in. I was just talking about, like, the extreme ends, like duality and stuff. But anyway. Incoming, arrival, birth, emergence, success, and entry. So it might be like a successful out. Okay? you are, this is something that's been, you know, really weighing on you. That's too many. That's too many. I can already tell. That's 4. I might need to switch decks here. It might be hinting at that. Yeah. Okay. Where do I want to go? There for a second. I'll get this one. All right. Tell us about how this is going to friends in high and low places, not one to fuck with. Yeah, you're someone with friends in high and low places, like I was talking about, that hybrid. You have affiliations and ties to not just light but shadow also. We have a binging, falling out of love. Alright. So you have, like, in a couple of readings back, there was a binging angel or presence, an avenging presence that was making itself known, okay? And that could be what that watcher energy is, okay? Rebirth, transformation, okay? So like falling out of love with the false paradigm, with the living out someone else's dream kind of thing, like that's the only, because when we're growing up, they make it out like those are the only things that we have to choose from as far as what we can do, where we can go, what have you. Alright, you're starting to see through the lie of that, okay? And we have forgery and false documents, okay? This could be, the false documents could be like you didn't know what you were getting yourself into when you agreed, signed a contract, what have you. We have pregnancy, trafficking, involuntary sex, or special skill, or exploitation of a special skill. And that's what I was talking about, like that divine womb, okay, that being exploited by this whole structure that had been set up to, you know, be the ones that sit in the background while someone else leeches off of our creative power and, you know, uses it to do for them. And they just kind of leave us as like some type of weird servant or some shit for them. Like, alright. Your heart sees what the eyes have yet to witness. Trust it, even when you don't understand the how, why, when, where, or when. Ooh. I was asking, like, but how? And it's like, okay, so it's not as easy to give you a cut and dry answer because, like, your heart has seen, but the eyes have yet to witness it. So it's like, to what can we compare this transformation to? Because there's nothing to be able to compare it to, kind of thing, to give you a straight answer. It's about, like, trust, okay? And it's like the audacity, right? They've had the audacity to, you know, and it's like with the moon card when it came out, you know, the emotions, the subconscious, the imagination, whatever, they've had the audacity to try to tell you that, you know, you don't have the capacity to bring what you truly dream of and desire into being. It's like, well, that's not realistic. That's just not gonna. But yet they sure are quick to, you know, harvest off of you, right? And the audacity, disrespecting the Delulu, right? So I've said this before, and, you know, take it as you will, but the delusion is an art form, okay? It is a manifestation technique, and if you use it responsibly, Okay, and it's a powerful force to work with, right? But if you've done the inner and outer work, you'll know how to handle it, okay? And it's a powerful manifestation tool, but because you might have someone trying to dig up dirt on you or whatever as you're trying to manifest, with the art of delusion as a tool to help cultivate space for the possibility to even be fathomed within yourself. The mental framework and your perception, it has to be laid out appropriately, because if you can't believe it yourself, then it's not going, you know what I'm saying, it's not going to stick. So somebody might be using your techniques, your tactics, trying to dig up dirt on you, saying you're crazy or that, you've lost your mind, what have you. Okay, and it says, whatever comes next, we'll face it together. I feel this connection too, and I'm finding my way to you. This could be whatever it is you're manifesting, and maybe you have been doing this in the background of everything, all right? And you're like, I don't give a shit if they call me crazy. And then we have double life. This could be referring to whoever you might be sharing that family room with, okay, because the family room card came out. Or it could be referring to you and how this hybrid nature of existence, right? You can cultivate that inner space and hold it while also walking on the external, right? And it could be a double life. Like you might have, that significant other that you're at home with and they're a piece of shit and blah, 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 same old song and dance. But you have someone that only within yourself, through yourself. You don't know how to explain it, and it doesn't really matter. But you have a way of interacting with them, of knowing them, and it doesn't matter what anyone else says about it. You continue to nurture that connection, which I think is badass, because I get it. Okay? But, yeah, just a warm body kind of thing. Okay, so your double life could be like, well, I have this fabulous connection internally in this space within myself, but for this other person out here, it's just a warm body kind of thing. Like they treat me like I'm just a warm body. All right, working really hard and craving recognition for the effort. Okay, this could be you. The work that you've done on yourself. Maybe this person that you share the family room with doesn't even acknowledge like the changes you've made, or it could be that the person you're with is trying to say like, oh, I bust my ass and you don't even give me any credit, blah blah. And it's like, okay, you treat me like I'm a warm fucking body, okay? So chill, calm the fuck down. All right, befriending you to try to steal your vibe or idea. Dealing with someone who's an energy heart. They want to keep you depressed. Or maybe they're starting to feel depressed because they can feel that detachment. They know what they are. They know what they're doing. And they don't like that we know that we're not falling for it anymore. Okay? They've pissed off something inside of us. But, also with depressed, it could be that, in keeping you depressed, and you might be noticing this, it's a tactic used because it keeps your energy in a sort of, like, pause state, like it's dormant, right? Because your whole system is overwhelmed and everything, and they can tap into that dormant center and slowly pull up of it. They know what they're doing with this energy. And it's not yours, or it's not theirs to deal with, to fuck with and use. And they try to use these contracts, like agreements that you made with them, marriage contracts, any type of verbal, contractual, unspoken agreement. Even engaging in sexual intercourse is an unspoken agreement. They try to bind you to this agreement where they can do this without consequence, okay? But you becoming aware of that and continuing to, stand in your power and your inner authority and say, I never consented to that. That's not what, and I don't agree to it. I never will. My energy is mine. My body is mine. And I do not serve anyone else. Period. They don't like that. All right. Craving deeper connections and with more meaning and substance, but feeling stuck because you're already in a commitment before awakening and acknowledging that truth. Exactly. Exactly. We're about to be coming full. I can feel it. We're about to be coming full circle, so I might just call it instead of digging for more. Anti-hero. That's too many. Ooh. All right. Truth teller. Okay. You've been telling the truth. You've been very open more and vocal about your truth. Okay, like I was saying, like understanding the power of your voice and declaring these things. And even if you're not saying it directly to them in that way, the way that you're speaking to that person is still conveying the same message, because you're aware of who you're dealing with now. So the way that you're choosing to speak, you choose your words more carefully to make sure that it conveys the same message, but you're not like allowing them to disrespect the Delulus, what have you, because you're aware of the power of this inner world and how it can reflect outwardly, and you're starting to protect it outside of yourself too. You're dropping the shame and kind of being like, oh, yeah, I daydream about this, or I blah, 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 because like you don't want to talk about, the power of manifestation, and because of course they're going to call you crazy. They don't want you fucking doing it, because then that takes away from the fuckery that they're able to partake in. Alright, we have a wannabe witch. They wish they were intimidating like you. Alright, these individuals that operate in this energy come in male and female form, okay? Read between the lines and think outside the box. Alright, this person thinks that they can do spell work and whatever, but they forget that you're able to read between the lines and think outside the box, so you're always one move ahead. Okay? Their stuff isn't going to stick, and it never will. Stepping into that sovereign seat within yourself is extremely powerful, hence why they have, gone out of their way to take any text or any history, information, what have you, about it, and keep it sealed, keep it hidden, because they don't want it to be known. But you've been studying what is in between the lines, what's said in the unspoken, okay, what truth is hidden and interwoven within lies. Like, there's all this potential space that has been left unchecked because, a lot of people operate superficially. But you have this telepathic ability, this telepathic connection with that which dwells within you, and even might be something beyond, outside of you as well, that has held that knowledge, and you trust that inner voice, you let it guide you, and, it's educated you on this stuff. Sometimes I'll hear a song or a phrase randomly and feel like it's you trying to tell me something. Exactly, it's part of that telepathic connection. They could be speaking to you about something because they understand the need for confirmation outside of self. Okay, we operate in a vessel for a reason, and it's to integrate the internal and external, right? So, you'll be getting messages from them or something, and all of a sudden you'll go to the grocery store and a song comes on, and it's like, holy shit, I swear, I was just having, this interaction, this experience with, in that silent inner sanctum, and then suddenly it's being conveyed through whatever song might be playing in the lyrics or something like that. And then we have, because of the way you look, alright, I was just talking about, like, the superficial aspect of this, like, beauty is a double-edged sword, okay? But you have the right to be beautiful without it feeling like a curse, okay? And others' ability or inability to perceive you correctly is not your problem. Especially when you're existing and you're showing up authentically, you're operating with integrity, like, there's nothing that they need to be assuming just because they look at you. You know, that's on them. Their projections are their problem, and those projections aren't sticking to you. And we have, and also what I was talking about with that evolutionary thing, like, they might be picking up on, you know, your awakening because of the way you look, like the way your physical features might be changing, all right? Multi-trans or interdimensional, so multi-dimensional, transdimensional, interdimensional. Every dream that has endured through life with you was placed in your heart for a reason, and that reason isn't simply to escape your reality. It's because a part of the reality you're meant to create, it's a part of the reality you're meant to create for us, like yourself and that which your soul knows. I know it seems impossible, delusional even, but how did anything become a something at all? This is not supposed to be easy. Creation is not for the fearful kind, okay? Let me get a couple more and I'm going to go ahead and call it. Divorce, separation. So that might be what's happening outside of you to make room for this presence to step into your life externally, or it could be referring to the illusion of separation, okay? We have waking, sleeping beauty with true love's first kiss. And then it's just so crazy. Like, I can't bring myself to deny how magical and right this feels. Yet there's nothing that proves this outside of myself. They call that a delusion, but I'm being truly honest with myself for the first time in so long. That feels right, although I've been programmed to think. My heart, imagination, and subconscious aren't as intelligent as my logical mind. But there seems to be so much more to this. I just don't want to seem crazy. This could be what's going through your head right now. Some of these cards that have stuff like that, I write down certain things that I channel from the subconscious collective wave, okay? And the unconscious collective wave, because you can hear them come through sometimes. Anyways, whatever. We have friends. Cheater. I feel like I might be crazy and wonder if you're even real. But then again, what's real anyway anymore? Okay? So, let's talk about, like, friends, cheater, and then, like, feeling what's real, what's not real. You may have, if you opened up to someone about this, or even just exchanging it with a part of yourself, like when this process first began with you, you may have been wondering if it's like cheating on the person you're with by interacting with that presence that's within yourself, right? And but then you're like, is it really cheating if they aren't real, or what if they are real? Like, I don't. And this is just echoing some of the things that you may have been feeling, thinking, what have you, when all of this really started to settle in. And, you know, understanding that what most would call a monster, they might operate in what people would seem like a darker energy, okay? You might collect bones, okay? You might have a thing for bones. This presence, like the way you see them inside of yourself, claws, fangs, what have you, take it as you will, but you're being guided to take this trust fall, because something tells you, like, if this is such a monster, then how come I feel such a connection, right? And you know yourself, you know your heart isn't something wicked, right? But at the same time, you do know that what you have been experiencing outside of yourself is far more wicked and twisted and whatever than anything of what most would even call this monster, okay, that you're perceiving within yourself, okay? We have duality as a disease of the soul when it's rigid. And I want to talk to someone about this connection, but I'm afraid they'll call me crazy or they won't take me seriously. All right. But this, what's for you is for you, okay? And someone else validating it doesn't make it any more or less impactful, real, significant, what have you, for you anyway. So, that's the whole trust fall thing. Like, but, it's normal to want to talk to somebody about it. And, maybe that's why you've been led to the 13th house. Because in this house, talk like this is quite normal. We are not afraid to dive into the fringe, the weird, the cringe, the forbidden, what have you. We ain't scared of shit. Oh, thank you. Unnatural, supernatural, traits, gifts, or abilities. Let me get 2 more and we'll call it. So you might be understanding like why you haven't been able to talk to anyone else about it is because this is a gift and ability that you have, that you hold within yourself. All right. And I think it's, this will find who it's meant for, and it's going to serve you well to know that you're not alone in this. All right, so stop being ashamed of what you truly love. Don't hide it away just because they don't understand. Don't sacrifice your magic for their dullness or for the mundane. I'll get one more. Ooh, we have rumors and gossip. And this is interesting, okay, because this is some of what I was talking about. So many of us don't speak up on things, yet we notice certain things. Rumor has it on the subconscious way, because if you know, you know. If you don't know, then that's okay too. But if you know, you fucking know what's been going through in the collective, like especially the feminine collective subconscious, okay? The sudden surge in women and feminine polarities within the collective turning inward and immersing themselves in books of a certain genre is of no coincidence. It's how you are gently being validated and reminded of what your heart, soul, and body has always craved and deserved before you lost yourself in trying to be enough for what you were left to choose from. Your soul remembers and your imagination is guiding you back home. It's okay. Signed, the universe. Alright? On the bottom of the deck we have Delulu. Alright. Like I was saying, like if you know, you know. And this is the confirmation for you, okay? That just because it's unfamiliar, different than what everybody else is doing, what they're thinking, whether or not the notion is accepted by many or few is totally beside the point. Part of, claiming your sovereignty is accepting your truth regardless of what anyone else, like, you don't need validation, okay? You don't need anyone else to approve. You just need to accept it, and that can sometimes be the hardest part, okay? But that is what, that acceptance, that surrender to your own truth, to who you are, and fully embracing it, okay, is what really kicks it off, It's that big bang into a whole new way of existing, of being, of perceiving, and opens the door to other possibilities being able to come into your experience, okay? I hope this helps. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, okay? I would appreciate it. It helps get more of this out to those who, who might also need it, okay? And until next time, bye.